Today I'm going to demo for you how to do a high color contrast edit. Our goals with this is to make a large difference between our lights and darks, to have high contrast between them, and to also make our colors very saturated and vibrant. To do this, the best way to start is by duplicating the layer and blending those two layers together, and that's going to start by adding a lot more contrast in your picture. I'm going to right click on my background layer. I'm going to say duplicate layer. I'm going to call this color contrast. I'm going to say OK. And so far it doesn't look different. I need to blend these into each other. So our blending modes are right here. I'm going to click down. Overlay tends to work best for this, but you can look at the other blending modes just by clicking on the top one and just doing an arrow down to see how they blend each layer in. So each blending mode has a different result. When I get to overlay, that tends to look the best compared to all of them. Hard light looks pretty good as well, but I'm going to stick with overlay. We can see that this was the first picture, and then once I added that blending mode in, it really already pops that contrast. I'm going to push it further by going to curves, and I'm going to add a slight subtle S curve. Okay, so up in the upper right corner, start to pull up, and that's going to brighten your highlights. Go down to the bottom corner and pull down, and that's going to darken your shadows. So I have a slight S curve there. I'm going to go back, click on Vibrance, and bring up my saturation a little bit. Starts to bring out those colors more, maybe even my vibrance as well. I'm going to go back. Green is a very dominant part of this picture, so I'm also going to accentuate the color in that by clicking on Hue Saturation. Right now, Master would change all of my colors, but I'm going to click down and go to Greens, bring up the saturation on those, and really allow them to stand out a little bit more. So we can see this is the first picture when I started, and by making these changes, then I've really allowed the details in my picture to pop out with that color and contrast. So we're getting a little bit more farther away from the realistic edits and starting to add a little more style in there. Please save this as a Photoshop document. So File, Save As, name it High Color Contrast, and the default is Photoshop document, and press Save.